Good morning. What is going on, YouTube? You are on the lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. How is everyone today, huh? Welcome in. It's been brought to my attention that this connection thing we talk about all the time might not be so well understood for the new people. So we're going to do a connection episode today. We're going to talk about connection and what it means for us on this recovery journey, and exactly what kind of connection we're talking about. Good morning, Kristen Melinda, Space Jeezel, you filthy animals. Scooby Lee, Short Note Carrie, MK, Deaudre Gore, what's going on? Good to see you guys. Welcome in. Welcome back, I should say, huh? Feisty Irish, TKK. It's really good to see you guys. Happy Friday. That's right. I didn't even know it was Friday when I woke up. I had to let the Feisty Irish tell me. The Arabian Bard, Smitty, what's going on? Welcome in. Yeah, connection, guys. So when we talk about connection, we are not talking about romantic relationships. We're not talking about physical intimacy. We're not even talking about casual coitus. What we're talking about has nothing to do with those things at all. What we're talking about is human connection. What we're talking about is understanding a fellow human, right? Spending some time, getting to know somebody, doing something fun together, right? Connecting. We're talking about real deal connection. And I'm not saying that romantic relationships aren't real. I'm just saying that's not the kind of connection that's going to bring you out of your addiction. That's not the kind of connection that we consider the opposite of addiction. And I think that romantic relationships are great. I think that as humans, one of our greatest desires, just ingrained in our DNA, is to couple, is to find someone to walk through the world with, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I, also have this sentiment. But in regards to the lifeboat, in regards to addiction, in regards to this recovery journey, the connection we're talking about is not that kind. And I can't tell you what kind of experience, well, I guess I'm going to attempt to tell you what kind of experience it has been watching my dad try to get sober for 30 years. One time it worked and the rest of the times it didn't. And you know what the difference was? The difference was this lifeboat. The difference was real deal connection. When he started this thing, he set out to save 6 people, and he ended up making 25,000 friends. And that is a little bit of an exaggeration, right? He doesn't know everybody on the boat personally, but most of them he does, which is astounding, which is absolutely amazing. You couldn't put that kind of magic in a box if you tried. And it saved him. It literally saved him to see the difference in my dad, to see the change come over him gradually. Was magic in itself. Yolanda Webb, good morning. B. Hendricks, Mars, good to see you guys. You caught alive. I'm so glad you're here. I also shaved today, guys. I figured I should start caring about my appearance. I feel like the neck beard carries depression with it. So I got rid of that thing. I'm pretty happy. I think I'm going to shave a little bit more, I tell you what. Although with the hat on, it makes me look like I have a long neck, but that's okay. But yeah, I tell you what, the Albanian snowplow hit me last night. I can't even lie, Captain. What does that mean exactly? What does that mean? What does that mean? I feel like you're making a drug reference. Katrina Schaff, good morning. Tina Marie, I'm living my one time right now, thanks to the Admiral and the rest of this boat. That is so cool to hear, Tina. And that's the way that we should be doing it. We have this one shot. Not to quote an Eminem song at all. Yeah. Real deal connection. We believe here on the boat that connection is the opposite of addiction. And that is exactly why. That story about my dad is proofs in the pudding right there. Without you guys, he would not be where he is. He would not be in a very good place. And I'm very grateful for that. I count my blessings, and you guys are among them. I have lots of blessings to count these days. I had a whole lot of stuff to say, but now that I'm talking about my dad getting sober, I'm getting a little emotional. And when you're emotional, it's proven that you can't be logical at the same time. So I'm just going to take a second, I guess. Am I judging you in a derogatory way, Yolanda Webb? I was just asking what you were talking about. You seem like a troll just by the way that you're speaking. And I'm not saying that because of the Albanian snowplow comment. I'm saying that about, I thought we were free to share our thoughts comment. So you are free to share your thoughts, but I also, I'm free to ask you about them. Again, I'm not entirely sure what the Albanian snowplow is. And if it is a drug reference, you're welcome to share that. I was just curious. I have a big history with cocaine. I quit smoking crack a year and February minus October. What's that come out to? About 7 months, a year and 7 months. I was told there would be no math. So I get it. I have been there. I've done that. And I've done a lot of that. So you're absolutely welcome to share your thoughts. I'm not trying to drive you away at all. I was just curious what you're talking about, because I can't help, or I don't know what's going on if I don't know what's going on. You catch my drift? You feel me? I'm glad you're here. Rocket Queen, what's going on? Only Eminem. I need more variety. Yeah. What other songs are there about that one moment? I guess literally every song is about a moment, huh? But anyways, regardless, I digress. I'm glad you guys are here. SoCal friend, good morning. Connection is the opposite of addiction, and we believe in harm reduction on this channel. The complete abstinence model of the 12 steps has served many, but it also has not served many, right? Complete abstinence is not something that we can all subscribe to, especially when we've spent the last however long indulging to the absolute depths possible, right? We might need a little bit of harm reduction to get us where we want to go. Understood, Yolanda. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to talk about it with me. I appreciate you. Feisty Irish says, most of the folks you let go of to get high are waiting in the wings to be re-invited to your sober life. Not all connections should be picked up again. I definitely agree. And the thing about that is that when we do drugs with people, when we party with people, it is a rare thing in my experience to have real connection with those people. And it may be the case that you do, right? Like I got sober with a lot of people in AA, and then we turned around and went and got high together. We had forged real connections beforehand, before engaging with the substances, right? And there's kind of a strange area there, like my friend Maggie. We've done drugs together and we got sober together, right? Victory and defeat. And she's still out there running and gunning. I pray for her every day. I love her and I miss her. And she's not in a good place. And I'm going to go visit her. I'm going to go hang out with her dogs and hang out with her. And it's going to be great. But the point is that it's a rare occurrence to have real connection. You don't forge real connections while doing drugs. It's just how it works, right? So when we get sober, picking back up those relationships, those friendships, whatever they are, there needs to be some special circumstances for me, right? I still keep Maggie at a distance because she's still out there running and gunning, And we used to run with the same people. We used to do the same drugs, and we used to see each other doing it every single day, So to be in her presence is difficult. And to be in her presence while she's using is impossible. I can't do that. I will leave. And I've actually been in that situation since getting sober. So you learn, you live and you learn. But I do have a real connection with her. And I will pick that relationship back up when the time is right. If I don't know what the right word to use here is, but, I really want to see her doing well. You know what I mean? It's hard to see in person the visceralness of the disease. I tell you what, that's a part of the deal, though. I tell you what. But this is very apt of you to say, Feisty Irish. I really appreciate this input. It is definitely worth considering whether or not to pick back up relationships that you had when you were not sober. 100%. It's a very, very good consideration. I just saw something. Ben Bacon Bits has joined us. Yolanda says, it hasn't been easy the last 4 years, but I am here. I tell you what, I can relate with that so much. And I'm really glad you're here. I hope I didn't put you off by my initial comments. I want everyone here, 100%. And you're right, I do want people to show up exactly how they are. So please don't let me put you off. It's not my intent. Frank Smith, welcome in. Kellyanne, hello, Galen. Frank Smith, just a question. Do you call out people like Yolanda because they don't give you super chats? That's an interesting question. Also, what makes you qualified to give this advice? What education level and what did you study? Well, I studied crack cocaine and alcohol for about 15 years on the streets. I was homeless for 2.5, 3 years. My parents were heroin addicts for my whole childhood. I was tossed around the family like a hot potato. My qualifications are experience. I did not study any of this stuff in a school, so to speak. And I don't think I would consider what I did to Yolanda calling her out. I connect with the crowd by clicking on these names, reading what they have to say, and then we talk about it, right? That's a part of what we do here is connect. We're connecting. So I was curious what she was talking about so that I could connect with her, right? I've never met Yolanda before. This is the first time that I've seen her. So I figured I'd shout her out, see what she's talking about. Albanian snowplow sounds pretty interesting, right? It's an intriguing phrase. But yeah, just, and I appreciate you asking the question. What's going on, Tampa Bay man? Always a pleasure. I appreciate you asking the question because that's kind of the purpose of today's episode. I feel like we're getting a lot of new people, and we take for granted here on the boat sometimes how things work, what we've done here, and it's not fully well explained for the new people. So I thought I'd come in here and talk about connection, which is the main thing that we do, right? We're trying to connect with folks, regardless of where you're at, right? Recovery is the goal, but you don't have to be sober to be here. We understand that complete abstinence is not necessarily doable for everyone right out the gate, right? And at the end of the day, we're just trying to do better than we did the day before. So if that's what you're into, you're in the right place. Rocket Queen says we're all just hanging out. School of hard rocks, hard knocks, bad breaks, and nasty choices. Also hard rocks, semi-soft hard rocks. Thank you for asking that, Frank, sorry, pardon me. My hat puts everyone off. We can make it a little more appealing. By the way, the mustache looks great. Well, thank you very much. I was getting really sick of the neck beard. I tell you what, it now I look like a chef, kind of, don't I? The neck beard was carrying around some sadness of some sort. I had to get rid of it. Didn't clean out the closet, organized the scullery. Let's go. But yeah, connection is the opposite of addiction. And the reason that we believe that is because of my dad's whole story, because of the whole deal. He tried to get sober for 30 years and failed and failed and failed. Oh, no, you're good, Yolanda. I appreciate you saying this. But no, sometimes when I take things at face value, when I first read something, like my first impression is wrong. It happens to all of us. And so I'm glad we're coming together on it because I could have probably handled that a little bit better. But here we are doing just fine, mighty fine. I'm super stoked you're here. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Not to quote Rick James or anything, but it really, really friggin' is. And fun fact, video games do the same exact thing to your brain that cocaine does. I am in the midst of a video game addiction, and it's weird. I remember doing blow and thinking to myself, I need to go do something else. I need to get out of the house. I need to go do this. I need to go do that. I should really stop smoking this shit. It's starting to hurt. And I would think that for hours and hours and hours until I ran out. I would stop because I had to. And I'll be sitting here today playing video games. And again, like I've been working on this recently. So maybe this doesn't happen to me today. Hopefully not. I'm doing pretty good about it. But I'll be sitting there playing games and have the same exact thing going on in my head. I need to stop. I need to go do some laundry. I need to go eat some food. I need to this, I need to that. And I'll just be playing for hours and hours and hours, having the same thoughts. And it is crazy. And to realize that and to then learn that it's the same exact thing happening in my brain as blow makes a whole lot of sense, and also empowered me to take action. I beat cocaine. and I can beat video games too. And I don't mean make it to the last level and kill the boss. I mean quit letting it take the wheel and drive the whip, because that's not something I'm into. I like to drive the whip. I'm in charge, of this. When I say this, I don't mean the stream. I mean like my body, right? My individualism. I'm in charge here. I am the proprietor of my bubble. Surviving together. What's going on? So today I'm going to make a new email. I have the ability to do so. I can think about, the great email that we already have, and I can talk myself out of it all day. But if I can't access that sucker, and I've been trying to access it for like a week and a half, and we're not making headway, I'm just going to go ahead and make one. All right. And this one's going to be tied to my phone, so I don't have to deal with anyone else in order to recover stuff that's lost. So in Surviving Together, you reminded me of that. I will be sharing that email today so we can finally get in contact. I appreciate your patience. It's totally my fault, but we're going to rectify it. I'm a follower, not a leader, says Tampa. Can't all be leaders, I guess. I have been reluctant to step into a leadership role my whole life, but it's also been in my head that I knew it was something that I was going to do, and I was afraid of it. I still am mighty intimidated by it. Izzy E, always a pleasure. I'm scrolling up, checking out what's going on with the crew. Frank Smith, what are you doing in here? What is your intent? Why are you here? What do you want? I'm going to give you a private seat if you don't have a good answer. Did you come here to troll me? I'd like to give you an opportunity to speak up for yourself. Because these little jabs you're taking, if you think your dad's still sober, blah, 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 bro, what are you doing? I'll give you 30 seconds to respond. All right, I'm sick of waiting. Big dog. Fun raid. Yeah. A little 30-second raid for that guy. All righty. Other restrained, I messaged you this morning on Instagram. Finally got that all figured out. Thank you for reaching out. Super stoked to connect with all the boaters. I tell you what. Mostly voluntold. I'm very familiar with the voluntelling, I tell you what. Today's going to be interesting, I can tell. I woke up this morning not feeling super awake, but then I spoke to my dad and realized I'm especially happy today. So I think I'm uniquely equipped to deal with today's, maybe I'm especially happy so that I can deal with the especially interesting interactions I'm going to have. I don't know, but that's all right. We shoot from the hip sometimes. Connection, folks. Literally every single one of these names, bar a few, I met on the boat. And we're becoming fast friends. We've been hanging out, coming and doing this thing for almost 7 months now, every single morning. And I have to say, I can't picture my life going the way that it is without the boat, without getting up and hanging out with you guys, without getting up and talking about recovery-minded topics, connection, boundaries, intentions, right? Like, what was that Frank Smith guy's intent? Well, I think that intention is a very empowering piece of knowledge, right? Why was he saying the things that he was saying? Well, the only thing that I could come up with was trolling. I tried really hard to think of a different intent, right? But the intent behind something is super important. So if he's saying these things because he's actually concerned, intent helps me understand people. Intent helps me understand myself. What are my intentions, right? Sometimes I go into something and I don't even know what my intent is. And that's when I fail. That's when I do stuff that I regret or do stuff that I have to like fix, make mistakes. I'm going to scroll up here. What was his intent, right? Did I scroll over it? We haven't been here that long. Oh, I deleted all his comments. That's why they're not there. Well, that sucks for review, but that's okay. Flick Fox, good to see you. I'm pretty sure that his intention was whack, right? And that's all that I need. All I need to know is your intent. Are you here because you would like connection and you want to do a little bit better than you did the day before? Because it's pretty easy to tell when that's the case. Especially, again, sometimes my first impression is completely wrong, right? So that's why we ask the questions like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, this, that. Hey, what's the plan here? The lack of response is very telling as well. But anyways, that's not super important. What is super important is that we're counting our blessings and that we're moving through the world in a way that we would like others to move through the world. I'm a firm believer that we're all always doing our best, right? Our best may suck. Today's best isn't yesterday's best, and it damn sure ain't tomorrow's best, right? Every day's best is unique. But why would we not do our best, right? I can't wrap my brain around that. So if everyone's doing their best, why does the best suck sometimes? Well, I think that's because everything must not be right in that person's world, right? If everything was right in their world, they wouldn't be acting like that, right? That's something that I've wholeheartedly believe. Some of the best advice I was ever given was pray for your enemy. And I don't really subscribe to any religions. Okay, so I'm not trying to divide anybody. Just thinking good thoughts, right? Wish them well kind of thing. Pray for your enemies because they wouldn't be acting like that if everything was right in their world. And that sentiment, those thoughts have changed the way that I move through the world for the better. Lori Vincent, what's going on? If they ain't trolling you, then you ain't doing something right. That's right. And I love my haters. They definitely tell me that I'm doing something right. I tell you what. Have you guys seen the TOB painting? This is the first acrylic painting done by yours truly. And I don't think it's a masterpiece, but damn, it's cool. I was trying to make a little boat over here, and it became a giant shadow. I could have left it as a canoe, but thought of that too late. We're going to be doing some painting later, building habits, novel experiences, new hobbies with the crew in real time while talking about recovery. Yesterday, we talked about cyclical trauma because I'm dealing with some of that myself currently. And if you don't know, cyclical trauma is stuff that recurs, right? Especially with drugs and substance abuse and alcohol and whatnot. We're going to have trauma baggage that rears its ugly head pretty much at the same time every year. That's part of the whole deal with the chips at AA, right? There are periods of time in your recovery journey where certain things are going to come back up every single time. And it's different for everyone, but the time periods are pretty familiar. And if you can identify a traumatic event in the time period that it happened, you often can tell when something's going to happen. For example, right around the fall every year, I start to feel really sad. I start to remember and recall things that happened with an ex of mine, with myself and her. Her birthday was in December, is in December. And we also had a cataclysmic breakup in December. And then we did family Christmas together anyways, even though we were at each other's throats, but it was the right thing to do because she didn't have anyone to spend family Christmas with, right? So there's a lot that went on in the fall for me. So I know every year that I'm going to have a difficult time when the leaves start to change. Even though it's such a beautiful time of year, it's one of my favorite times of year. Now it's attached in my subconscious to some really sad stuff. And that's cyclical trauma for you right there. And, it dulls over time. It's not so poignant this year, but yesterday was really hard. I'm hoping that today continues at the altitude that it's at right now because it's pretty sweet. DCD 416, hello. There is a big hole we all must fill up after getting clean, and the hobbies and careers help so much. Absolutely. And the only way to do away with a habit is to take on a new one. Novel experiences drop endorphins on your brainstem, right? The first time you do something. That's why when you're a kid, everything is so novel all the time because everything's brand new. Doing novel experiences, trying things for the first time, fills that hole. Finding a purpose, right? Finding something that makes you happy, something productive, using your hands, being of service, all of these things serve us on this recovery journey. especially when things look dark, especially when things are starting to get a little wild, a little hairy, and we don't want to do any of these things. That's when they serve us the most, and that's when it's the hardest to utilize these tools. So be aware, stay on your toes. Jeremy Fowler, good morning. Finally caught a morning boat. We've been missing you, bro. We'll be painting again later if you've got some time. Mocked, good to see you. Flick Fox, you can only control how you react in life anyways. Absolutely. In the morning when I get up, I draw an imaginary circle around my feet. What's inside that circle is what I have control over, and that is it. I have a sphere of influence that is slightly larger, but I don't really think about that one very much. That one doesn't serve as mighty of a purpose as my sphere of control, right? Miss Dragon, good morning. It's fantastic to see you this morning. Tampa B man, come paint with us. I'm still learning and whatnot, but I'm going to figure out a way that we can have everyone participate. Whether I'm having people send in what they're working on to like pictures of it to the email, whether we get on the Discord and we all do like a video chat. I don't know, but eventually I would like Art Day to not just be me presenting, but I would like it to be a crew interactive experience, right? And I can make that happen. I just need to keep these cogs turning in my brain. We'll figure it out. But yeah, whether you crochet, paint, whatever you do, resin, I would like us all to be able to come together and do it together, whether or not it's in the flesh. Lori Vincent, I'm so glad to read this. You guys have no idea how happy I feel. I think, oops, where'd it go? I think I've been sending out the right energy lately, and I'm finally finding my real peeps. So thrilled to have found this channel. Welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome aboard. Why not have several people on screen with you, Spanx? We could totally do that. We could absolutely do that. I'm just contemplating the proper way to do so. Wow, that music sounds a lot louder than I want it to. Has it been that loud the whole time? Please hold. And I swear, Bluetooth connection, when your device has a volume button and the speaker has a volume button, hitting like the lowest setting on one doesn't hit the lowest setting on the other. And even if you account for that, sometimes you have to do it again, I guess. So I guess you guys got to listen to the Black Dahlia murder with me. That's okay. I accept it. Essie Mac, I'm so glad you can't hear it. That's really wonderful because it's for me. I'm not trying to push music on anybody or share funds with any bands that I love. But it does help my brain stay focused, and it gives me some background noise, right? It helps me not be distracted by the lawnmower outside and the yelling downstairs and the this and the that. You know what? Surviving together. I think we all paint like a 3-year-old sometimes. I definitely feel pretty 3-year-old about my TLB painting. I also decided that all my paintings, I'm going to put TLB in there somewhere, whether it's large, small, front and center, right off to the side. I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to put it somewhere, sneak it in, so to speak. Kellyanne says, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. John Lennon. That's a great song. I wonder what the music sounds like, Tina, when it's just loud enough. I wonder if you're just hearing the snare drum. I could really go for a serious metal concert. I tell you what, Cheeky Brat, good to see you. It's been a while. Welcome in. Listening while working. So sorry if I miss saying hi to anyone. Oh, you're good. We can't say hello to everyone, but we do try. We definitely try. Spanx, you should maybe list the paintings on an auction when you get a few. You know, I was talking to my dad today and he said, you know, someone's going to want to buy those eventually. And I said, I don't know about that. I'm definitely open to the idea. Let's get a couple under the belt and maybe if there's demand, we can provide a supply sort of thing. And no snare will ever beat Saint Anger Metallica. I don't think I've heard that song. Can you believe that, Jeremy? I thought I had heard every single Metallica song there ever was, but Saint Anger, huh? I'm literally going to write that down. I can't believe there's a song I haven't heard. Is that a new one? When I type in Saint Anger, you know what it tried to autofill? It said snare afterwards. Why is the snare drum from Metallica's Saint Anger bad? That's the first response from Reddit. It's very interesting. I'm a big fan of the snare drum. I can do a good old gravity blast. Florida man, Captain Calhoun, I've been waiting to speak with you. I've just been too embarrassed, but I think I'm ready. Been stuck on uppers and transitioned into boofing. Can't seem to get a grip. Do you have suggestion? Are you for real that you're 100% boofing? You're boofing as a regular practice? I don't think that the method of intake has any bearing on the substance or the addiction. I think that no matter how we intake it, we're intaking a substance. So what substance you're doing is far more important to me than the method that you're intaking it. Now, when you eat weed versus when you smoke weed, it's a different chemical composition, right? If you were to smoke an ecstasy pill, it would probably do different things to you than ingesting it, right? But putting something in your butt is just going to skip your liver. It's going to absorb into the lining of your butt, which is very dangerous. No, it's not pathetic, Florida man. I'm not trying to talk down to you. I just wanted to make sure that we're talking about something real here. So I don't think the method of intaking it matters at all. What we're talking about is crack and meth, right? So I would recommend to you what I would recommend to anybody that's trying to get off these drugs. And we're going to start with connection. The fact that you're showing up here is a great, great start. The fact that you're speaking up is a great, great step, right? So for that, we pull out the trophy. We want you to keep connecting. We want you to keep showing up. And no matter how you feel about yourself, whether you think that you're pathetic or awesome, that doesn't matter. I want you to be here and I want you to participate. That's what I want. And I think that your psychic, your mental, will slowly start to shift as you make the right connections, as you start listening to the things that we have to say. They're going to become a part of your own self-talk, right? And that's going to be a great first step. I don't think that we want to do a ton of stuff, right, at this juncture. I think we would just want to move in the right direction. Yeah, dude, I totally care. And you know, I've put drugs in my butt. It's not abnormal, right? It's just terrifying. You're totally bypassing your body's filtration system. You're just one hair away from mainlining, right? You're just one hair away from putting it right into your bloodstream. You know what I mean? You basically are putting it right into your bloodstream. So I appreciate you speaking up. Yeah, let's get some ones up for Florida man. And again, dude, I'm super grateful that you're here and super grateful that you had something to say. I don't want you to feel embarrassed. Sometimes I react poorly to some things, and that's my fault. That's something that I get to work on. But yo, if this is something you're going through, no matter who you are, if you're out there listening and not speaking up, speak up. We can't help if you're not speaking up. And if you're not speaking up, you're not truly connecting now, are you? Right? Having a dialogue with us, having a dialogue with me, with anyone in the chat, that's the way that we connect. That's how we start this journey. And that's also how we finish this journey, right? Not that there is a destination, but we're going to start connecting and we're going to keep connecting. And that's going to keep us in the right place mentally, spiritually, emotionally. When times are tough, I have my friends, right? When times are great, I have my friends. A ball hair away. That's hilarious. It is. It's true though. I mean, yeah, your liver serves a mighty purpose in the body, filtering whatever you're putting into it. We put food into our body, and it gets filtered a little bit by the liver. You're putting alcohol in there; it's getting filtered a lot, right? So going the other way is quite dangerous. I am the Noise Opera. Good to see you. Welcome in. Oh, you guys are out there painting, huh? That makes me so happy. I can't wait to start a new one today. I was thinking about all kinds of different ideas and scenes, and I don't want everything to be a nature scene, but I think number 2 is also going to be a nature scene. Except we're going to do less water and less moonlight. We're going to go with the sunshine, maybe some meadows. I don't know. But I feel like the need to do something different. That's all I have to say. Well, make sure to catch the Admiral later today, most likely around noontime. And then the painting will be happening shortly after that. In the comments, after the show, if you have comments, suggestions, questions, maybe a suggestion about what art to do next when we transition out of painting, maybe a suggestion about what to do about all the boofing comments. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. If you have anything to say, please reach out to me in the comments. Hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. And costume crafting sounds fun. I do like that a lot, Other Restrained. And I think I'm going to just have a short episode this morning, guys. I lost my train of thought. And, connection is pretty straightforward. It's pretty cut and dry, right? We do this thing intentionally. The way that this whole thing is set up is intentional, right? It's not by accident. We like to welcome everybody until they, prove themselves a troll. And even then, I've welcomed trolls back. Because honestly, those people probably need help. Like, let's be real, right? That's just my opinion, but they probably actually do need help. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here in the first place. So, yeah, I don't know. Just have lots to ponder after today's show, so I'm going to go ahead and do so. Hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It makes a huge difference. And, yeah. Thanks for being here. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have the most amazing weekend. I will be a part of it at least twice a day. Yeah, and let's put some ones up for the trolls out there, huh? Let's put the ones up for some trolls out there. I still believe that it would be very difficult to have boofing being your main method of intake. I don't want to say it's impossible because I feel like there's an exception to every rule, but every time that comes up, it's hard to take it serious because imagine doing your drug of choice in your butt every time. Now imagine doing that for as long as you did your drug of choice, or maybe half of it, right? Maybe you graduated to boofing after a while. Like, is that realistic? Are you going to have anything left? How long would it take to destroy your entire body? How long would it take to literally OD because you're not using your liver? Right, think about that for a second. It's really hard to take that serious, but you can't say I didn't try. Again, I believe there's an exception to every rule. Maybe one day I will be proven wrong, but it still has not happened. So I think my gut is pretty on point with stuff. Now the neck beard's gone. If we could do something with this little clown hair bit, we're almost there. I'm like getting closer every day to actually having all my hair being long, but Young people don't think like that, though. Absolutely. And that's how I can tell the difference, 100%. When I talk about intention, this is a part of that. What is their intent, right? What perspective are they viewing the world through, right? What exactly are they thinking? Why? And again, you can drive yourself mad trying to see the world through someone else's eyes, but just getting a small glimpse, right? Just kind of peering through the window real quick, helps a ton, right? Goodbyes are awkward. I hate saying goodbye to y'all, but I will see you later. How about that? Captain Calhoun out. This has been the Lifeboat, and I really appreciate every single one of you. You guys, I've been forgetting to say this recently. You guys are the boat. You guys named the boat. You guys are the boat. You guys understand this? The boat wouldn't be what it is without you. If it was just me talking, that's not the boat, right? So I just want to say to each and every single one of you that I love you. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm super grateful that you want to hang out and talk about this stuff and that you believe in the cause. And I wish all of you the most wonderful weekend. I'm actually leaving now. Goodbye.